Now, fasten your seatbelt for the FIA World Rally Championship. With Ford.
Valvoline. We make engines feel great.
Pirelli. Power is nothing without control. Pirelli tires.
Rallies, 4 continents, 4 different surfaces, 11 months and 8 different winners. The World Rally Championship is the most diverse and demanding global motorsport discipline on the planet. But after crisscrossing the globe for a year, the world's best drivers and teams are revved up for the season grand finale. Still to be decided, both the manufacturers and drivers' titles in the frame, Ford and Peugeot. And coming into the last round, 4 drivers, Colin McRae, Tommy Mäkinen, Richard Burns are separated by just 2 points, but still in the hunt is Carlos Sainz. The stage for the closest title fight in rally history is Wales. Rally Great Britain is based in Cardiff and runs over 17 stages in the city and the forests. Day 2 alone is made up of 5 stages, totaling 132 kilometres, but the fastest driver over the whole 380 kilometres of the rally wins. This is one of the most beautiful corners of the Principality, a place where the British have a history of repelling invasions from abroad. It's the same in rallying. Burns and McRae determined to see off the challenge of a Spaniard and a Finn. But Mäkinen's assault didn't last long. On stage 2, he put a wheel into a hole on the road and broke his Mitsubishi suspension. Dreams of winning a record 5th world title and 24th career win over his last rally for Mitsubishi were gone.
This rallying seems to be sometimes a bit hard.
In 1995, Colin McRae won Britain's only world title here. After 3 stages, he was on course for a 2nd title. But on stage 4, another hole claimed another title fighter. Not a word as the car came to rest. McRae and Nicky Grist unhurt. In tatters, McRae's $500,000 car and possibly his championship. Even though he's out at the rally, he can still win the title.
I feel terrible about it, but you know, that's the sport. It can be, the highs are very high, but it can also be a very cruel sport, and you know, this year it has been very cruel at the moment, but it's not finished yet. You know, Richard's still got to win the rally, or he's still got to finish in the top 4. Carlos is still going, so you know, things could happen.
But Sainz's hopes were effectively ended on stage 2 when a puncture ripped apart the bodywork and the brakes on his Ford. Watching Ford's manufacturer's title hopes evaporate, Peugeot's Marcus Grönholm, now the rally leader. Even with McRae out, the British fans still had Richard Burns to cheer on, but his road to a potential 1st title was far from smooth. Sometimes it's easier to drive to a win than to 1st. With the championship fight in turmoil, Grönholm opened a half-minute lead in his last rally as champion. But in the dark on stage 8, he almost lost his grip on the lead. So at the start of day 2, Grönholm's lead considerable. Burns on target for the title in second, with Rovanperä third, Peugeot looking good for the manufacturer's title. Just out of the points, Mark Higgins, Armin Schwartz and Kenneth Eriksson. Richard Burns was lucky to even make the start of day 2. He had trouble getting his Subaru going at the overnight halt in Cardiff.
The car wouldn't start out of Parc Ferme. I mean, I tried, and there's like a routine for that. You know, if it doesn't start first time, then we have to push the car out of Parc Ferme and change the spark plugs once we're out of the control. So that's what we did.
Heart-stopping moment for you.
Yeah, not very pleasant, but like a control panic. It's happened before. We know what to do, so not too bad.
Relief then for Burns and his fans. But the driver making the rally his own was Markus Grönholm. He dominated day 1, and from the start of day 2, he was back in command. The first stage of the day was the longest of the rally, a massive 46 kilometers through Resolven. Sliding on the mud, left over overnight rain, Grönholm was fastest by 7 seconds.
Risteys vasemmalle 330. Hyppy täys. 100. Risteys vasemmalle 3 ja oikein hidas kirraa.
Heralded by an even louder barrage of air horns, Richard Burns was next onto the stage. Any other rally, he would have been hounding Grönholm for first place. But with a championship at risk, he eased off, but only a bit. Burns was 4th quickest through the stage.
Flat left, 60, crest 120, slight right 40, slight left in.
Air horns also signalled Harry Rovanperä's arrival into the valleys. His aim to pass Burns and give Peugeot maximum possible points to take the manufacturer's championship. After Resolven, he was within striking distance of the Englishman. Out of sight, Didier Auriol had gone off at 195 kilometers an hour, losing over a minute and meaning Carlos Sainz was hot on his tail. Carlos Sainz started the rally needing Mackinnon, McRae and Burns to drop out and for him to finish first. Now it wasn't looking so far-fetched. Eventually, Sainz eased past Auriol, and despite a puncture, the Spaniard was 3rd on the stage. As Sainz comes down to the hairpin, look at the back wheel, and you can see the flat tyre filled with run-flat mousse. Alistair McRae made his name on this rally in the late 90s when he was running in the top 3 for Subaru. In the meantime, his career has been rather up and down. His ability to mix with his brother Colin and Richard Burns, a rare thing. This year, he'd hoped to catch Burns and help his brother Colin to the title. And to do that, he was right on the ragged edge.
Left on crest, brake in straight 100, open hairpin left, don't cut.
But an off into a ditch didn't help his cause, but still the Scot was 5th in his last rally for Hyundai. Another in the gang of up-and-coming Brits is Mark Higgins, but the former British champion was about to lose 4th, then 5th gear in Resolven, meaning 8th place was as good as it was going to get for now for the Welshman in the 3rd Ford Focus. But Higgins was furious to have lost time.
On fire.
Valvoline make engines feel great.
Former European rally champion Armin Schwartz loves these conditions, and it showed. He was 6th overall.
But right on his tail was Kenneth Eriksson, another rally veteran enjoying the season finale. A rear puncture and a major gearbox problem didn't slow Freddie Leutz. The Belgian scored 5th best time on a charge up from 9th overall. Apart from Burns, Subaru's only other driver was Toshi Arai, the Japanese 14th, even with this stall. So after the big stage of the rally, Grunholm now almost a minute ahead of Burns, but Rovanperä close to Burns' rear bumper. Down to 10th, Didier Auriol on his last rally for Peugeot. Safely through Resolven, the cars return to the service outside Swansea.
You seem very relaxed. Is it difficult to concentrate when you've got such a big margin and you're flying very fast?
No, I try to concentrate every corner. I have to keep the concentration up, so I must go fast.
Was it slippery at all? We had a bit of rain this morning.
Yeah, there's few places it's very slippy, but after that it's normal slippery. How is the condition is here normal?
You taking any risks at all?
Not really, no. Just there's no point, you know. We were 4th quickest. Doesn't matter if we drop to 3rd. I'm not really worried about our position as long as it's in the top 4, and I think we can do that now that Didier also he went off in there and dropped some time. Shows how easy it is to make a mistake, you know. So best thing is just to concentrate on keeping on the road.
1 kilometer after the start, it was big braking and junction left, and we missed a little bit the junction, and we go a little bit on the ditch. And we have need spectator, and okay, wait the spectator.
You had been going very well. You must be disappointed.
Okay, it's life. It's RAC, you know. There are some another driver stopped completely the race. I am still here, of course. Nothing special now, but okay.
Mark, a couple of problems for you there in Resolven.
Yeah, we started the stage, and about 10k in, it sort of jumped out of 4th gear, and it gradually got worse, and then we lost 5th gear as well. And then to top it off, about 2k from the end, we had a rear puncture, so not the best of stages, but it could have been a lot worse.
Stage 10, and Margam Park is famous in rallying as the stage where Carlos Sainz retired 400 metres from winning the 1998 World Rally Championship.
2, 1, aja.
First up at Margam this year, Marcus Grunholm. Unlike day 1, which was bone dry, the stages on day 2 were wet and wild, the rain turning the surface into an ice rink. This the wildest ride outside Disneyland.
100, vasen täys. 100, oikee, pitkä, nopea. Eikä mennä sinne kivien sisään.
And Grunholm was quickest through Margam by a massive 12 seconds.
8, vaseri tiukka. Toista tiukka. 8. Risteys.
Richard Burns might have honed his skills on stages like these and in conditions like this, but every corner is still a potential trap. Burns goes better than most in the fog, but again his determination to stay safe curbed his need for speed. But even backed off, he was still 2nd quickest. Through the windscreen you could see the fans giving their man the thumbs up. Inside the car, he had his fingers crossed.
Right, 50 flat right in Titans maybe.
Rovanperä too revels in bad conditions, but the fog had dropped by the time he came through, and that cost him dearly. But worse, by driving blind, he didn't see a couple of large rocks lying in the road and hit them hard, damaging the steering. On the reverse angle, you can see him close his eyes as he hits the rocks. So rather than catch Burns, Rovanperä dropped back, 16 seconds back. For now, Burns was safe. Carlos Sainz and Margam Park, synonymous with drama, but not today. Sainz said he wouldn't mind moving to Britain one day, so he clearly isn't worried by a bit of fog. The Spaniard took third place on the stage to consolidate fourth place overall. Sainz's big worry was the speed of Alistair McRae in the faster of the Hyundais. 23 seconds was the gap to the Scotsman going into Margam, but despite pedalling as fast as he dared and finishing fourth, McRae lost 10 seconds to Sainz. McRae's hopes are still of a podium finish for Hyundai before he leaves the team at the end of the rally. There were 3 Britons in the top 5 through Margam, Mark Higgins taking 5th place in his one-off drive for Ford, even though he claimed that he was only getting 1 in every 2 corners absolutely right.
Max right, long okay. Two wide.
They may be German, but Arvid Schwartz and Manfred Hema use English pace notes. Whatever, it seemed to work. Their Skoda was now into the points. Schwartz, don't forget, won here in 1996, when it was a non-championship rally. Skoda's where Kenneth Eriksson will be next year, but in his last rally for Hyundai, the veteran Swede was 8th. His commitment through the trees, total. Inside Freddie Leutz's Mitsubishi, it was all going badly wrong. The Belgian screaming with fury as it kept jumping out of gear. Only first, second and sixth gears were working, and Leutz was furious. Neil Weirden has $1 million backing to make the big time in rallying, but money doesn't matter when you whack a bank. Retirement for Weirden and Trevor Agnew, instantaneous.
Let's go block the road.
It gets narrower. It gets narrower.
Bruno Thierry benefited from Weirden's exit, the Belgian up to 10th for Skoda in what could be his last drive for a Works Rally team. So after stage 10, Grunholm's lead now more than a minute, but Rovanperä's problems mean Burns looks safe in second. And less than a second between Higgins and Eriksson in the fight for 7th. Then back to Swansea for another service.
Marcus, another stage win, another move towards 10 points for you and the manufacturers.
Yeah, it looks good, yes, and the car is very good. I'm happy to drive, so it's no problem.
Rovanperä was lucky to escape after his troubles in stage 10.
I hit big rocks on the road after two cars coming in one corner in big rocks and very hard hitting in the protector, and I feel first feeling is something's broken, and okay, maybe 2 in 2 out, changing a little bit in the steering, but in the main road everything is fine.
But there was good news over at Hyundai.
You feel good for this rally? You're doing exceedingly well, really.
Yeah, no, just pushing as hard as possible. It would be nice to try and get onto the podium, but there's still another couple of guys in front of us stopping that, so we'll keep trying.
Schwartz too had something to smile about.
You're now in the points. It'd be great to finish your last rally with Skoda, getting some points.
Of course, I mean, it was the main aim when we came here, and I think it looks quite good.
Richards, how was that first run through Margam Park?
All right, it was thick fog the whole way through. So, I mean, a few places where you couldn't see very far in front, but not so bad. At least it's not dark.
Second on the stage, Marcus has pulled out a bit more of a lead, but that doesn't worry you yet, does it?
Not even yet. It doesn't make any difference. No, it's cool. It's cool.
With Ford.
There may be only 5 stages on day 2, but they're almost all big ones, including at 29 kilometres, stage 11, break for 2. The cars had already been through once, so the road was badly cut up, rivers of mud running down the forest road. But all the drivers were on chunky gravel tyres. Once again, Marcus Grönholm was fastest, and by half a second a kilometre. So much mud gets thrown up on these roads that after a couple of stages, the underneath of the cars is coated with dirt weighing as much as a man. But all the drivers were in the same muddy boat. Like Grönholm, Burns was in a groove, but his was consistently slower than the Finns. But second fastest was enough to hang on to second overall. A grey car in very grey conditions. It was hard to see Rovanperä emerging from the fog. The Finn was still trying hard to catch Burns, but to no avail. One answer to the build-up of all that weight, lose the rear bumper. But as fog descended, Carlos Sainz slid off the road into a group of spectators. 13 were taken to hospital, but thankfully none of the injuries were life-threatening.
We'll talk about it now. I think we'll pull the car off the road and then we can all collect our thoughts.
With Sainz visibly shaken, stages 11 and 12 were immediately cancelled.
Turn round, back to service. You cancelled? Yeah.
We hit the car and we hit the spectators, or Marshall, I think was, I'm not so sure what was exactly there. We realized immediately that it was some injury, so we pressed the SOS button, we advised our team, and the only thing I can tell you is that the next 4 hours was not very nice until we realized nothing serious happened. So I'm really happy that the people involved are not very bad injured, and I feel sorry about that.
On stage 11 this afternoon, there was an accident involving Carlos Sainz, and also involved were spectators. Sadly, some of these spectators have been injured, and as a result of that, we've now decided to withdraw Carlos Sainz and Mark Higgins from the event. We're We now obviously have to look and work very closely with the authorities, the organisers, to see exactly what happened and what can be done in the future to address the situation.
So with Ford out, that means Peugeot are guaranteed the manufacturer's title for the second year running, but not in the way they would have chosen.
Since Ford has decided to withdraw Carlos' car, we are still leading. We are leading the championship by 4 points. But the reason why Ford has decided to withdraw is said. We do imagine how difficult has been this decision to be taken.
Looking forward to tomorrow, it's still very good for your first World Championship.
Yeah, there's 4 big stages tomorrow. We've had three good stages today. We've been good speed, sort of 90% of what we could achieve if we're going to try and win the rally. But there's no need to do that. So just keep our fingers crossed for tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will find out who will win the 2001 Drivers' title. Can Burns keep going, or will he falter and hand it to Colin McRae? Join us for the last day of the season.
Very long. Okay, right. The 80. Stop. Slow forward, right? Links crest into 6 straight. Right, just over
The World Rally Championship.
J'ai perdu une quinzaine de personnes de ma famille. L'avocat d'Ariel Sharon voudrait poser une question à la cour d'arbitrage. La cour d'assises belge peut-elle juger un ministre étranger alors que pour une même sorte de plainte, elle ne pourrait pas le faire pour un ministre belge? N'y a-t-il